Welcome to the Westward Ho project on WikiTree, the expansion of the American West in genealogy. The American frontier is a rich tapestry of compelling stories, marked by both opportunity and hardship, exploration, and also conflict. The Wild Wild West, a land of cowboys and outlaws, pioneers and untamed frontiers. Let's ride through this explosive expansion that reshaped the nation, what's commonly known as the American frontier. Who lived in the American frontier? There were settlers, Civil War soldiers, speculators, all moving in, as at the same time Native American tribes were being pushed out. The frontier wasn't just a place, it was a true myth in the making. There's not an exact beginning date for the westward expansion, but we do have a few clues. So let's explore the key moments in the westward expansion. 1783, the Treaty of Paris. The U.S. wins independence, claiming land to the Mississippi. 1803, the Louisiana Purchase. The U.S. actually doubles in size overnight. And when we're talking about the Louisiana Purchase of 1803, it is much larger than what the current state of Louisiana is. 1804 to 1806, the famous Lewis and Clark expedition, the first major expedition westward. Thomas Jefferson commissioned this expedition so they could explore the Louisiana Purchase as well as going to points in the Pacific Northwest. 1830, the Indian Removal Act, also known as the Trail of Tears. Thousands of Native Americans were forcefully relocated from east of the Mississippi to west of the Mississippi, most relocated to present-day Oklahoma. This was authorized by President Andrew Jackson. 1845, the great state of Texas joins the Union, setting off tensions with Mexico. 1846 to 1848, the Mexican-American War. The U.S. won the Mexican-American War, and Mexico ceded vast amount of land and territory to the U.S., including California and many of the states that we consider the Southwest. 1848, the Gold Rush. California explodes with fortune seekers. Over 300,000 people migrated west in search of gold and a better life. This created massive migration with boom towns along the way, social impact, different demographics, and also environmental impact. 1862, the Homestead Act. President Lincoln offered land up to 160 acres per family to settle west. 1869, the Transcontinental Railroad. This allowed people to travel from coast to coast, east coast to west coast in days, not the usual months. The American frontier, with every railroad spike and every wagon wheel, the wilderness shrank, but the legend, it grew. So much of what we think about when we think about westward expansion, the American frontier, and even the Wild Wild West is really myth. So let's take a few moments and talk about myth versus reality. We've all seen the Hollywood movies, right? Hollywood made the West look like non-stop shootouts and saloon brawls. Okay, sure, there were gunfights. Looking at you, Wyatt Earp. But most people, who were most people that settled the American frontier? Who were they? They were farmers. They were families. They were people looking for a better life, land of their own, a piece of dirt that they can cultivate, a home they could build for their families. They were hard workers that were fighting the land, not each other. Make no mistake, the frontier was brutal. There were droughts, disease, broken treaties, and a lot of lawlessness. And it would be impossible to talk about the American frontier without talking about the impact it had on Native Americans. For the Native Americans, westward expansion meant displacement, violence, cultural destruction, Entire nations and families were uprooted. And resistance was fierce. But in the end, ultimately, the U.S. government forced the frontier closed on their terms. While we don't always have a starting date for the American frontier, we do have a good idea of the end of the frontier. By 1890, the U.S. Census Bureau declared the frontier officially closed. The land had been mapped, it had been claimed, it had been settled. But the Wild Wild West, that still gallops through American history today. It's part myth, part memory, and forever untamed. Thanks for watching. Did you like this ride through history? Well, saddle on up and hit that subscribe button for more bite-sized history in minutes. We plan on focusing on the notables, the outlaws, the lawmen, in the history of the Wild Wild West. Join the Westward Ho project on WikiTree and collaborate with fellow genealogists. Find out how you are connected or related to your American frontier pioneer. Join today and create your family tree. It's free.